You're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. Today, I'm revealing what I believe to be the one skill you must master to channel your spirit guides, communicate with the spirit realm, and tap into source energy. And once you learn this and continuously practice it, you begin to enter superpower territory with your gifts and abilities as a highly sensitive soul. So, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Kimberly Morrow, and you're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. The Conscious Her is an accessible online platform and community of conscious women that are empaths, highly sensitive people, and intuitives who are both curious and passionate about spiritual and energetic self-development. As a professional psychic medium, spiritual guide and mentor, intuitive energy healer, and channel for over 5 years now, I dedicate my life to reconnecting energetically sensitive women to the divine within themselves so that they can live the most fulfilling, rewarding, and transformational life possible by remembering who they are and why they're here. If you're looking to learn how to leverage and apply your incredible energetic gifts in your personal and professional life and utilize your intuition and sensitivity as your personal superpowers, this podcast is for you. So let's dive into today's discussion right now. Hey, beautiful light being, and welcome to the Conscious Her podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Spirit Series, a special compilation of podcast episodes I've created to help you learn more about your spirit guides and the incredible role they play in your life. Today, in episode 12, we're talking about the one skill you must master to channel your spirit guides. If you need a thorough and proper introduction to what spirit guides are and what it means to channel your spirit guides, please go ahead and listen to episode 9 first, entitled The Best Kept Secret of Highly Sensitive Souls, and that will help you understand what I'm talking about in this episode, so much more. If you've been hanging out with me on my social media channels, especially Instagram, you'll see that I've been talking and posting all about spirit guides lately for the past month or so. Last week, I did a free 4-day live training series around my specialized and divinely downloaded framework, the 4 pillars of spirit guide communication, and the 20 steps to effective spirit guide communication, which is specifically designed to help highly sensitive souls learn how to channel their spirit guides in the most natural way possible so that they can experience life with greater trust, alignment, ease, and flow. This training is what I teach in my signature program, the Ultimate Spirit Guide Communication course, which is currently open right now for enrollment until March 31st, 2021. It's the exact system that I use to channel my spirit guides for myself personally and in my professional practice as a medium. It truly does help you break down such an intangible topic and have it really make sense for you and your highly sensitive soul so that it becomes easy and accessible for you, regardless of where you are on your journey here in life school. I personally believe it is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself as a highly sensitive soul. It gave me the courage, the inspiration, the empowerment, the confidence, the clarity, and the healing that I was always missing in my life. And I'm very confident it will for you too, because my students are getting results they never imagined they would. And I've even had a couple of my students change career paths because of this and because of learning to do this. So if you haven't checked out the training yet, make sure you head on over to Instagram. My channel is at The Conscious Her to watch the replays. Additionally, if you're interested in joining the Ultimate Spirit Guide Communication course, please visit www.theconsciousher.com/signature course to sign up. So let's get into today's topic. Part of the reason I really enjoy producing podcast episodes is because it allows me to provide authentic, real information as a trustworthy source. In a sea of information coming from the spiritual healing industry, that isn't always legitimate. It gives me the relief knowing that I am sharing information that can help and inspire people and not confuse them or intimidate them. I'm a huge advocate for ethics and morals within the spiritual healing industry, and I like to talk on those topics. So, having said that, I want to talk about something really, really important when it comes to learning to communicate properly with your spirit guides and the spirit realm, and even just tapping into source energy. I don't believe that this is widespread information, so I want to make sure you get this. And if you've listened to episode 8 entitled What to Do When the Universe is Ignoring You, this may give you a better idea on what I'm going to be sharing with you today. It's a fantastic supplementary episode to this one for anyone who is interested. One of the first critical exercises and skills I teach and introduce in my own programs and training for my students is one skill you must master to channel your spirit guides, which is the ability to quiet, clear, balance, and neutralize your mind and body. We have a sacred connection to our spirit guides, the spirit realm, and source energy. This is what our ancient ancestors knew. And for many parts of the world, especially the Western world, it's a long-lost art and relationship. And even now, as the Western world becomes increasingly spiritual and open-minded, people somehow still believe that this is new and trendy, which is mind-blowing to me. And as we see more and more injustices, tragedies, pandemics, natural disasters, and more arise on our planet, the more we see an increase in interest and importance around topics like mental health, spirituality, unity, connection to one another, mindfulness, self-awareness, and meditation. Now that the scientific community is recognizing this, it's like suddenly more and more people are jumping on board with it and wanting to learn more and be more involved. But we struggle because there is a huge rift or divide between our modern Western world and our effort within that world to reconnect with this ancient knowledge we crave to better ourselves and our lives. We live in a modern Western world where we balance technology, instant gratification and rewards, social media, convenience, next day delivery, constant entertainment. We don't live in a world that supports this notion of going back to our roots and what our ancient ancestors knew about a real connection to the universe and what that entailed. And because of our modern Western world lifestyles, we can find it really difficult to be able to learn this one basic yet incredibly important skill, which is quieting and clearing your mind and your body. The first prerequisite to channeling. Without it, you can't hear, sense, see, or feel communication with your spirit guides, the spirit realm, or the universe. So what does it mean to quiet and clear your mind and body? Well, from a more scientific standpoint, it means embodying a completely different, higher vibration, altering your frequency, shifting your brain waves, letting yourself receive, and maintaining a clear conduit for the energy to be exchanged back and forth. When you're quiet, then you can hear. And when you're embodying this type of energy, frequency, and vibration, where you are quieting your mind and body, you're able to monitor your human aspects of yourself while placing 95% of your focus and intention in the spirit realm or astral realm, enabling you to receive communication. So instead of placing all of your focus into the physical 3D realm that we operate in and as human beings, You're actually placing all of your focus into the non-physical realm. This means that you can watch elements of the ego, including your conscious thinking brain, pass along thoughts to your awareness, yet remain detached from them and then release them immediately. You have the ability to filter, process, and sort both internal and external energies that are influencing you in the moment. And you decide what is important and what is not important. And you use that to determine what is communication and what is not. And most of it will not be communication. But the point is that by learning this skill, it becomes increasingly obvious what is communication from your spirit guides, the spirit realm, and source energy versus what your ego is doing at that time. The energy between your ego and the spirit realm is completely different and on opposite ends of the spectrum. The energy of the ego is usually about negativity, fear, darkness, self-importance, anxiety or stress, and feels heavy, dense, slow, and repetitive. It happily creates worst-case scenarios to protect you and to keep you safe. The ego is meant to be utilized for the physical 3D human realm. It's what we use to operate in it as a human being. The human experience is largely an illusion, but the spirit realm is not. The energy of the spirit realm is about love frequency, light consciousness, unity, peace, oneness, and is extremely fast, light, fleeting, instantaneous, and it doesn't hover over you and around you like your ego does. It doesn't need to. It simply is truth, and it doesn't need to perpetuate itself. It just is. Remember that the ego is not meant for the non-physical astral realms. You don't use it here. And if you try to use the ego for it, you're not going to get very far. I always tell my students, if you want to use your intuition, you're not allowed to think. Because the ego, the thinking brain, or the left side of our brains that is largely attributed to our intellectual, analytical, methodical, numerical, statistical side, is not what we use when we're connecting with the spirit realm. So for simplicity's sake, it's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. It ain't happening. So when we endeavor to learn how to channel our spirit guides, we need to know these things. We need to be aware of our current human limitations, our ego, our identity, our emotions, our attachments, and our fears. We need to find a happy medium, no pun intended, where we can acknowledge that human side of us while getting back to embodying our soul consciousness and our own natural spirits. And for many people, this is challenging and takes a lot of work. A lot of people can't get that. It takes a lot of guidance, practice, and consistency to get it. And this is why so many people can't sit still with themselves. They resist meditation. They can't be alone with their own thoughts. They start complaining about aches and pains, and they get restless, and they assume they're incapable of quieting their mind or their body, and it's just not, air quote, for them. But in all reality, they give up before they make any progress, because it's not something that is instantaneous. It takes some time, and so many people lack the patience, consistency, effort, and so on to reach this level, even if it is something that they desire. But again, this is going against the grain of our societal conditioning. And quite frankly, it makes a lot of people straight up uncomfortable. They don't understand why they're doing it because they haven't really had to do it before. Our left brain and our ego is what dominates this current modern Western world. Not to mention, it's a masculine-based society on top of all of that. Like any other skill set, it just takes time to learn and to practice over and over again and start experiencing the feelings of quieting your mind and body so that you can begin to receive that communication from your spirit guides, from the spirit realm, and source energy or source intelligence. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Everyone has the natural, innate, and built-in ability to channel their spirit guides, connect to their higher self, and tap into source energy at the same time. And if you're a highly sensitive soul, then this is even more heightened for you. It's a more effortless inclination. It's not a matter of capability, it's a matter of choice. So do you care enough to put the work into it? For the majority of people, that would be a no, because the real need for it is still not obvious to so many people, even though it's tragically and desperately needed in this world. It's the one thing that many people don't know they need, and even if they know they need it, they still struggle to find the time for it or to prioritize it, which is so disheartening, right? But regardless of whether you're energetically sensitive or not, there's an element of unlearning, healing, and reconditioning ourselves that we need to do to be able to better open up ourselves to this incredible ability we all have as cosmic beings. It's like shedding a lot of humanness and a hell of a lot of conditioning, and then remembering, reconnecting, and reawakening that core within us that is non-physical, and tapping back into that so that we can access our spirit guides, the spirit realm, and source energy. So essentially, quieting and clearing your mind and body is about correctly positioning yourself and getting yourself into a place or a state where you can listen. You can heighten your receptivity, you can sharpen your senses, and you can hear information, insight, wisdom, and communication coming through to you. Real communication. This is why it's the first thing that I teach. It's the first skill set to build on and develop, and it's one that you never stop working at, regardless of what level you're at on your journey. Even when you master it, your work isn't done and the efforts don't subside after that. You continuously practice this because as long as you're human, you're going to need to balance the human part of you and the non-human part of you. In my signature program, the Ultimate Spirit Guide Communication course, I teach a module on what's called the golden rules. And the very first golden rule is that clarity and chaos cannot exist together simultaneously. And this really goes with almost anything in life. This means that if you have a chaotic mind, sweeping emotions, you're always busy and rushing, or you've often distracted yourself or you're preoccupied always with something, you're simply caught up in the energy of the modern Western masculine physical 3D world. It happens to all of us, and we all fall into it easily without even thinking about it. But with an overactive mind and no attempt to be mindful, self-aware, or to actively choose your thoughts, you can't attune to that energy, frequency, and vibration required to connect with the spirit realm or to source energy. If your energies feel disturbed or chaotic on any level, you're not in the space to connect. Therefore, do not expect the clarity and the guidance or the answers when there's an element of chaos leading your life or taking your full attention. This is not the way of channeling, of communicating, or of connecting with your spirit guides, the spirit realm, or source energy. And our ancient ancestors knew this. When we make a true and genuine effort, to build a ritual or practice around our spirituality by way of allowing ourselves the time, space, and energy to get quiet, to be still, to get present, to listen, and to hold space for ourselves, to actually access the astral realms. This is where we plant the seed for the universe to begin communicating with us, particularly our spirit guides. We acknowledge our humanness and we practice stepping out of our humanness and back into our soul essence and consciousness, that which we really are. So, what are some ways that you can begin practicing quieting the mind and body? Number 1, observe yourself. Take the time to notice and become more self-aware around the thoughts that you have on a daily basis, or even within the next hour. Do a little experiment. Where are they primarily sitting, or what are they primarily reflecting on? Do you find your thoughts to be chaotic, overactive, or repetitive? Do your thoughts reflect love, or do they reflect fear? Then take the time to notice your body. How in tune are you with your body? Do you listen to your body when it communicates with you? So when you're not feeling well, when you get sick, when you've consumed something that doesn't agree with you, when you have aches and pains, when you're exhausted and need a break, or when you get an ailment or an injury, are you feeling into what is causing this in the first place? Or do you just blindly accept it? Do you even ask your body what it's trying to tell you? Okay? Then take the time to notice your emotions. Do you properly acknowledge them when they come up? Do you let yourself sit with them and notice them and where they're moving through your mind and your body? Or do you ignore them and repress them? Do you honor them and let them speak to you? Or do you try to cancel them out because they guilt, shame, or embarrass you? Start making the health and well-being of your mind, body, and soul your priority. This means you're stepping out of your programmed humanness and you become conscious of yourself as both a physical being and a cosmic being or non-physical being. It's the acute sense of awareness of ourselves that is what allows us to become sensitive to the subtle and astral energies around us and how we interact with them, and then begin to interpret and translate them and that energy coming in. Number 2 is ground, balance, and protect your energy field. So go back and listen to episode 6 entitled 7 Effective Ways to Ground Yourself as a Highly Sensitive Soul, because this is a detailed and thorough guide for you. And I really suggest you listen to that one because this is a key part of learning to quiet and clear your mind and body. And with this one, go within and ask yourself, what activities make me feel like my most grounded, centered, and balanced self? When does my energy feel off-center? How often do I spend on each end of that spectrum? So chaotic energy versus grounded energy, okay? Number 3 is get quiet. So what I mean by this is actually give yourself the time, space, energy, and routine to sit quietly with yourself or with a quiet activity and shift your focus away from the physical 3D realm where you're used to having many distractions, and allow yourself to move your energy frequency and vibration into the astral, non-physical realm. Getting quiet means no phone, no technology, no distractions, no multitasking, no compromising or half-assing. Okay? It requires your full and complete presence. Give yourself at least 10 minutes every day or as often as you can to do this for yourself, especially if you're a highly sensitive soul. If you can do this alone, like first thing in the morning or even just before bed, you can make it part of your routine. You can even include your kids in this too and share with them the importance of being quiet with yourself. If it's difficult for you to meditate or to take quiet time for yourself in your home, try getting yourself out in nature or doing an activity that allows you to enter a meditative state and that will remove you from your distractions. Getting quiet with oneself would also include mindfulness activities like meditation or visualization, or it could even mean listening to binaural beats or even sound healing, like a sound bath. It would be beautiful as well. Number 4 is use your breath. In the Ultimate Spirit Guide Communication course, I emphasize the power of using your breath to send and receive energy from your spirit guides and the spirit realm. It helps you to channel your focus and set your intention on what you're doing. One beautiful way of achieving this is by placing one hand on your heart chakra, so right in the center of your chest, and the other hand on the solar plexus chakra, which is just above your navel and below the rib cage, and using what's called a box breath to control your breathing pattern. The typical box pattern is inhaling for 4 counts, so 1, 2, 3, 4, holding your breath for those 4 counts, and then exhaling your breath for 4 counts, and really just letting yourself get into this rhythm. As you get into this rhythm, you can practice consciously observing and monitoring your thoughts and choosing thoughts that serve you. You can notice the thoughts of the ego and your human self and learn to filter and process and sort them from information, wisdom, or insight coming in from the universe or from your spirit guides. Your breath is like a tool you can use to circulate and exchange life force energy into your body and back out again. You can create this frequency with which you can share with your spirit guides. Through inhaling, you bring the energy you wish to embody into your energy field, and through exhaling, you send it back out to your spirit guides or to the universe. So they go hand in hand. By quieting the body, breathing deeply, and relaxing or grounding your energy field, you become increasingly impressionable through your senses, which in turn allows you to open up naturally to subtle and astral energies around you, like those of your spirit guides or higher realms of consciousness. You can see that none of these exercises that I've reviewed with you here are particularly difficult whatsoever, right? But how they are not necessarily natural for us anymore in our modern Western world or society and in the 21st century. We have to work at taking the time to do these things. We have to make the conscious choice to practice. Like I said, it's not a matter of capability for us. It's a matter of consistent choice. And this type of perseverance and effort is what allows us to become masters of the ability to quiet, clear, balance, and neutralize our mind and bodies so that we can begin to channel our spirit guides, communicate with the spirit realm, and tap into source energy so that we can heal and transform our lives and receive the answers and validation and reassurance that we're looking for from the universe. We get to the place where when we are able to do this consistently, the quietness is what allows the communication, information, wisdom, and insight from the universe to be echoed into our awareness. It becomes more easily noticeable and obvious to us. It's the quietness and the stillness that allows us to hear, sense, and feel effectively. Know that learning to channel your spirit guides is a whole other skill set in itself. There's a lot more involved there. It's like an art form, and that's why I have a whole exciting program on it that I'm really proud of and excited about. But this particular skill of quieting the mind and body is one that you can't go without when you're learning to channel. It's the one piece of the puzzle, and it's the one step in the framework that without it, nothing will work properly the way it's supposed to work. It's like the only key to the ignition that runs the engine and that moves the vehicle. So never underestimate the importance of getting quiet, still, and present with yourself. And know that it does take courage and bravery. It does take being uncomfortable and awkward and imperfect. And it brings up a lot, right? It has the potential to bring up thoughts and feelings and emotions and such that are not always positive. But it is in this practice that we are able to strengthen the mental and emotional planes that give us the ability to become conscious of them, to not judge them, and to compassionately accept our humanness, and to carry on regardless, embodying that love frequency and light consciousness. And it's the self-acceptance, self-love, self-care, self-discovery, and inner reflection that are the byproducts of building and mastering this skill set that makes it so critical and such a gift in our lives. It's also the fuel of our spiritual growth and ascension. If you're interested in learning how to master quieting the mind and body, how to channel your spirit guides, connect with the spirit realm, and tap into source energy so that you can heal and transform your life, a reminder that the Ultimate Spirit Guide Communication course is open for enrollment right now until March 31st, 2021, which is next week. In this course, I teach my specialized and divinely downloaded framework, the 4 pillars of Spirit Guide communication, and the 20 steps to effective Spirit Guide communication, which is specifically designed to help highly sensitive souls like yourself learn how to channel their spirit guides in the most natural way possible so that they can experience life with greater trust, alignment, ease, and flow. It helps you learn how to get the answers, the reassurance, the support, and guidance you're looking for by learning to channel your spirit guides, communicate with higher realms of consciousness, and actually understand divine expression. So to sign up, you can head over to my website, www.theconsciousher.com/signature course. If you have any questions, concerns, or inquiries about the course, send me an email at hello@theconsciousher.com or connect with me over on Instagram. My channel is @theconsciousher, all one word. That's all I have for you today, my beautiful, highly sensitive souls. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about the incredibly important skill set of quieting and clearing the mind and body in order to channel your spirit guides. Have a beautiful day, take care, and I'll catch you on next week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode and for listening to the Conscious Her podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here and a part of our community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you subscribe and share it on your social media channels with your spiritual soul sisters, friends, family, and network. Chances are, if this resonated with you, it will for them too. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm here to help. You can email me at hello@theconsciousher.com, and I may even use your question or topic of discussion for a future podcast episode. If you want daily support for your highly sensitive soul, please visit me over on Instagram @theconsciousher. If you're interested in working with me, visit www.theconsciousher.com and be sure to subscribe to my mailing list. Finally, I do have a personal request. I believe that our purpose here is to heal ourselves and to serve others. And together, you and I can help more people. If you would please leave a positive review for this podcast on iTunes, I'd be so eternally grateful for your support. Thank you and have a great day.